Hey everybody, it's Shelly. Sorry my closet is open. Jazzy's laying by it and I'm not going to disturb her because she's resting. So today I was going to talk about the having big goals but taking tiny steps, small steps to get there. I watched John Assaraf on Inspiration Nation, which is a YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed to that channel, I recommend it. It's a really good channel. He interviews all kinds of different motivational, inspirational people. Maybe I'll be on there someday. Anyways, he was just talking about how we take on these big goals. Like we get so sick of our job or our bodies or our financial situation or our relationships or whatever, and we make these big grandiose commitments to change them, and I'm going to use weight and my body as an example because that's something that I am doing at this time, and it's just easy to talk about. And so he was talking about how people will be like, okay, Monday morning, I'm going to work out for an hour. I'm only going to eat this many calories. I'm going to, you just make all these big plans for this big, huge goal. You want to lose 30 pounds and, you want it to happen now. And you're going to just do all this stuff to make it happen. And you're just going to change everything that you do. And then you start on Monday and you're just gung-ho, and Tuesday you're gung-ho, and Wednesday you're like, I think I'll sleep in a little and work out a little less. And, Thursday somebody brings cake to work and you have a couple pieces. And by Friday you're like, screw it. I'm going to go out and have fried food and I'm not going to work out. And then, the weekend comes and you're like, dang it, I didn't do any of that stuff. And so his thing that he was talking about, how we say, and his thing, as if it's his thing, but what he talked about and what's important is when you want to make those big, huge goals happen, you have to start small. And I'm not talking, I've always talked about you want to attract your dream car, so start with a cup of coffee today. And that's not what I'm talking about, which also works. But you want your dream car, so start today saving $5 and knowing in 100 days you'll have $500 to put down on it or whatever. That's what I'm talking about, starting with those baby steps. So if you want to start working out and you want to start losing weight and you want to start feeling better about your body, don't start with an hour workout, start with a 2-minute workout. And I know that that sounds ridiculous. How is 2 minutes going to even help me? Well, for some people, a 2-minute workout is huge. For some people that are severely overweight or just totally out of shape, if you just jogged in place for 2 minutes, you would be totally out of breath. Or if you did push-ups or sit-ups for 2 minutes, I might be able to do sit-ups for 2 minutes straight and I'd be hurting. But I don't think I could do push-ups because even doing the girl push-ups, I shouldn't say girl push-ups, the less intense knee push-ups, don't want to be sexist there, I still have a hard time. I just don't have a lot of strength in my arms, and that's something I can build up to. And so he was saying, even with that, I can't do 2 minutes worth of push-ups, but I could do 5 push-ups. And I could do 5 push-ups for the next 100 days. And if you're like, okay, I'm going to commit to doing 5 push-ups and 5 sit-ups for the next 100 days, by the time day 5 comes, you're going to be like, I'm pretty sure I can do 10 of each or 20 of each. You know what I mean? So instead of saying, I'm going to start out doing an hour intense workout and just totally exhaust myself and hate it and just, every morning dread getting up to that. If you just get up every morning going, you know what, I just need an extra 2 or 3 minutes to do 5 push-ups and 5 sit-ups, and I'm going to do that for myself. And today at lunch, instead of getting the fries, I'm going to get the side salad, but I'm still going to get the burger. You know what I mean? So you start with those small steps, and then you start realizing, wow, this really feels better. I don't feel so bloated today because I didn't have a whole order of fries. I just like had one of my friend's fries and had a side salad and still had a great burger. Like, so that's what I'm talking about with those small steps. So you take a grand plan, you want to change your job. So just know that once a day, you're just going to look at Craigslist and look at the job postings. It doesn't mean you have to apply to any. It doesn't mean you have to be interested in any. You can just see what's out there. Just say, for 5 minutes, I'm going to look at Craigslist and look at the job postings. Or for 5 minutes, I'm going to get on Indeed and just start my profile, or my, however that works. I've never applied for anything on Indeed. But I'm just saying, like, do that. Like, don't put out there, I'm going to change jobs and I'm going to go out there and I'm just going to beat feet and do everything in my power and just exhaust myself. Because exhausting yourself doesn't get you anywhere. And what it really does is it just like brings you back to square one. And the reason that it does that is because in your unconscious mind, this is the understanding behind it. In your unconscious mind, you have a program. Just like your computer has a program to do certain things and not to do certain things, and to let some of them let viruses in and some of them don't, or whatever. You know, you have that program. Unless you change the program, your computer's not going to change. Or unless, you know, like a radio station, unless you change the radio station, you're not going to hear different type of music. You're going to keep hearing, I'm going to say freeform jazz, because I saw a post on Facebook this morning and it said, if you could obliterate any like genre of music to cure the COVID thing, what would it be? And I put freeform jazz. I am not a fan, and if you are, I'm sorry. I can't. Anyways, you know, if you're listening to freeform jazz and you don't like it, and you just sit there listening to it because you know, don't feel comfortable turning the dial. But what if the next station was just 1 click away instead of 5 or 6 clicks away? Like, just do that 1 click and be like, oh, good, there's some rock and roll, or there's some country music or some classical music. Like, that feels so much better. So that's what I'm talking about. Just take those small steps to start reprogramming your mind. So the next morning you wake up and turn on the radio and it's back to freeform jazz, because that's what you know and that's what you've been putting up with. And then you go click, click, click. Oh, there's rock and roll. I did 3 clicks today and there's rock and roll. And then you wake up the next morning and you're back to freeform jazz. And then you go 5 clicks and you're like, oh, there's some amazing like oldies station that I totally appreciate because it reminds me of, you know, all the fun I had when I was, you know, whatever. And then the next morning you wake up and it's not freeform jazz, it's country music, and you're like, yay, I can listen to country music today, and I woke up listening to country music. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's just, you know, total metaphor, but good. I mean, I don't know what your actual radio station is programmed to, but that's the programming of the mind. So if you just like turn the radio to a totally different station and then you're just like, oh no, this is too much. You know, it's like, you know, that screaming, yelling music, and you're like, I can't handle it. And you turn it back to freeform jazz. Even though I don't like it, it feels safer, instead of finding those other things that are there. So those little tiny things. So like I said, if you want to change your body type, your body image, your weight, how you feel about your body, you know, make a small step. You know, have a smoothie this morning instead of a McMuffin or whatever. You know, have you know, a healthy, you know, some yogurt and grape nuts instead of Fruit Loops. You know, so you just make those small changes and you're like, okay, I did that today, and tomorrow I'm going to do it again. And then and then his thing was like, do it for 100 days. But we all know if we do, you know, 5 push-ups for 100 days, by that, you know, 10th or 20th day, we're putting on more. And that's the whole point, is you get to a point where you're like, okay, I only have to wake up this morning and do 5 push-ups and 5 sit-ups. That's so doable, instead of an hour's worth of exhausting workout and just, you know, totally changing your whole life. And then in 10 days, I'm waking up and doing 15 push-ups and 15 sit-ups. And then in a month, I'm getting up and doing 25 push-ups and 25 sit-ups. So that's what it's all about, is just starting small. You know, if you want to start saving money, save $1 today. Go online to your bank account and switch $1 out of your checking account into your savings account. And then no, I did my savings for today, and move on with your day and be happy with that. And then do that again tomorrow. And then in 100 days, you're going to have $100 in your savings account. And I know that doesn't sound like much, but it's a beginning. And honestly, when you start doing that, and then you go through your day and you're like, oh yeah, I am saving, that changes your mindset. So then pretty soon you get more and more money. And people are like, oh yeah, whatever. But it's true. It's true. When you start to make a move to do something better, and then start relaxing about it instead of having all this anxiety and, you know, trauma over it, it starts to flow. Whether it's weight loss, whether it's money, whether it's relationships. You know, if you and your spouse are having a really hard time, what is one little thing that you could do today to help him or her? Like, could you bring him or her coffee in the morning? Could you pick up dinner on the way home because you know that your wife has been dealing with the kids all day and she's exhausted? And what a treat it would be for you to just, even if it's just McDonald's, like how great would that be for you just to text her and go, hey, I'm going to pick up dinner. Don't worry about making it. I know for me, my husband did that every once in a while and it was amazing. So that's what I'm talking about. Little things. It doesn't have to be this grandiose thing. You don't have to take her on a second honeymoon and spend thousands of dollars. You can bring her flowers. You can bring him a cup of coffee in the morning. You could, you know, I don't know. I was going to say, make sure the dogs aren't in his spot when he gets home from work. Because I know that my husband would be like, if he came home and the dogs were curled up on his spot in the couch, he'd be like, what the heck? But seriously, just little gestures like that. That's what starts changing things. And it's especially when it's about relationships. And I'm not just talking about your relationship with your spouse. I'm talking about your relationship with your parents, with your kids, with your friends. If you start making a change to make it better, it will start being better. It will, the law of attraction, that happens. You know, if you are dreading going to lunch with someone and then they get there and you're like, oh my God, I love what you're doing with your hair. It looks beautiful. Did you change it? That little thing will change the whole dynamic of the conversation. Even if it goes back to that negativity, you can remember, hey, I can compliment her on something and it's going to kind of throw her and she's going to be like, oh, okay, thank you, or whatever. Or, oh, this old thing I just got, you know. So I'm just saying, like, whatever you want to change, make those tiny baby steps. You don't have to go to that lunch to like reveal that that person's been driving you crazy and you want them to change, because that's not going to happen. But if you make a little tiny change in that conversation, it will start the ball rolling and it will snowball into something great. So with that, I'm going to go. You guys all have a great day. If you want to watch that video, I have a little note here. Inspire Nation on YouTube is the YouTube channel, and it's the John Assaraf interview. And it was, I'm pretty sure it was pretty recent, so it should be on those first few videos. Have a great day. Happy Monday. Subscribe, hit the like button. Hit the bell if you want to know when I'm going on. Have a great day. Bye.